This woman told her son his wife wasn't welcome for Christmas, and because of that, he didn't show up either. My son's wife does this thing where she cries at other people's events and somehow becomes the center of attention anyway. Last Easter, she had a full breakdown during an egg hunt because some toddler said, "I hope the Easter Bunny brings me a baby sister," and she had to go sit in the car for 40 minutes while my son went out there to comfort her. My niece's kid, 4 years old. This woman is 32. They've been trying for a baby for like 2 years now, and I get that it's hard, but she's made it everyone else's problem in this very specific way where you can't be happy about anything pregnancy-related without her needing to process her trauma about it. My daughter Jen got pregnant in August, total accident, her IUD failed. She's got 2 already, and she's honestly kind of panicking about money, but whatever, it's happening. When she told the family, my son's wife literally got up from the table, went outside, and my son followed. They sat in our driveway for an hour. Could see them through the window. She was sobbing into his shoulder. Jen saw too. She asked me later if she should apologize, and I said, "Apologize for what? You didn't do anything." But here's the thing that actually happened. 2 weeks ago, Jen had people over for one of those gender reveals with the cake. Just family, not even a big thing. She texted the group chat. My son's wife responded, "I'm going to sit this one out. Being around pregnancy stuff is really triggering for me right now. Hope you understand, red heart," in the family group chat, where everyone could see it, including Jen. Jen didn't respond in the chat, but she called me crying. She's 4 months pregnant and exhausted, and she just wanted her family there for one afternoon. I called my son and asked why his wife couldn't just come for an hour and be normal. He told me I clearly don't understand how hard this is for her, that she's grieving every single day, that Jen gets to be pregnant without even trying while his wife has been trying everything and nothing works. I said Jen didn't get pregnant, AT her, these things are not related. He said I was being insensitive and hung up. They didn't come. His wife posted on Instagram that same day some quote about "you're allowed to distance yourself from situations that harm your mental health," with a picture of her holding a mug looking out a window. Jen saw it, called me again. So I'm planning Christmas and thinking about how this is going to go. Jen's going to be 6 months pregnant and very obviously showing. My other daughter-in-law just told us she's pregnant too, only like 9 weeks, but she's telling everyone at Christmas. I'm imagining my son's wife sitting at my table doing her sad face while everyone tries to be happy but not too happy, walking on eggshells so she doesn't have to go cry in the bathroom. So I just texted my son. Told him I think this year it should be just him for Christmas. His wife can take the year off until she's in a better headspace. He called me immediately, full yelling. Said I'm uninviting his wife from Christmas because she has the audacity to have feelings about infertility. That I've always had a problem with her, and this is just proof. I said she can have feelings at home, not at my table, making my pregnant daughters-in-law feel guilty for existing. He said if she doesn't come, then he's not coming either. I said okay. That was 5 days ago. We haven't talked since. My husband thinks I went too far. My sister says infertility is hard, and I should have compassion. Jen feels guilty even though I keep telling her this has nothing to do with her. But it's my house and my holiday, and I'm not hosting someone who's going to make it all about her pain while everyone else tries to celebrate. My son sent me an email yesterday, really long, about how I've never accepted her as family and how this is a pattern of conditional love. He said the version of Christmas I'm trying to create isn't worth losing him over. I didn't write back yet because, honestly, I don't know what to say that won't make it worse. My husband keeps saying just apologize and let her come, it's one day. But it's not one day. It's every single family event from now on where we all have to manage her feelings about other people's lives. Not your mom actually comments. You banned your daughter-in-law from Christmas for having depression about infertility. Do you actually hear yourself right now? OP's replies, she's not depressed. She's manipulative. There's a difference. Crying in Kroger comments. The Instagram post isn't even about your daughter. You're the one stalking her social media and making it about your family. She's allowed to post on her own page. OP's replies, she posted it the same day as the gender reveal. You think that's a coincidence? David Uwensi comments, Lemo, your son said, if she's not welcome, I'm not coming. And you said, okay. You called that bluff hard. Linguistin training comments, wait, did she actually say anything mean to Jen? Or did she just not come to a party and post on her own Instagram? OP's replies, she made Jen cry twice by making everything about her infertility. Garage Philosopher comments, your husband and your sister both think you're wrong, Jen feels guilty, and you're here arguing with strangers. Maybe listen to your actual family. Motor Statues comments, you're allowed to distance yourself from situations that harm your mental health on the day of a gender reveal is fucking wild, I'm sorry. That's so passive-aggressive. OP's replies, thank you, that's what I'm saying. Update, she had a miscarriage at my kitchen table. I wasn't going to update this because everyone was calling me a monster anyway, but I need to tell someone what happened, and I can't tell anyone in my actual life. I let her come to Christmas. Everyone was on my ass about it. My husband said I already made my point and should be gracious. Jen said she texted her privately apologizing for everything. So I texted my son 3 days before Christmas and said, fine, she can come. He just said, okay. Not thank you. Not I appreciate you reconsidering. Just okay. Christmas Day, everyone shows up. She brought her usual separate food in containers. She's being super friendly, helping without being asked, complimenting everything. My son's watching her like he's making sure she performs correctly. Jen's obviously pregnant now, wearing this tight dress that shows everything. My other daughter-in-law announces her pregnancy right after we sit down for dinner, and everyone's congratulating her. My son's wife is smiling and hugging people and asking questions. She held Jen's stomach at one point and said something about how beautiful pregnancy is. It felt like she was trying really hard. My husband whispered, "See, I told you it would be fine." We're eating and she's talking about this fertility specialist they're going to see in January, telling my other daughter-in-law about acupuncture or whatever. Very open about all of it. Then she stops mid-sentence and her face goes weird. She puts her hand on her stomach and says, "Excuse me," really quiet, and gets up fast, heading to the bathroom. My son gets up to follow her, but she says, "Just give me a minute." So he sits back down. We keep eating, but it's awkward. She's in there for like 15 minutes. Then she comes out and she's white, like actually drained of color. She walks up to my son and leans down and whispers something. He stands up really fast. His chair falls back. He says, "We need to go to the ER." Everyone starts asking what's wrong, and he just says she's bleeding. She's standing there and she says, "I'm having a miscarriage." Just says it out loud to the whole table. Jen starts crying immediately. My other daughter-in-law's husband is trying to figure out if we should call 911. My husband is getting their coats. I'm sitting there trying to understand what she means because I didn't know she was pregnant. I say, "Wait, what?" And my son looks at me and says, "She's 12 weeks. We didn't want to tell anyone until after the first trimester." 12 weeks. They've known since October. She's crying now, saying she needs to go, and my son's helping her to the door. She's bent over, holding her stomach. Right before they leave, she turns around and looks at me and says, "I'm sorry I ruined Christmas." They left. Everyone just sat there. Jen was sobbing. My other daughter-in-law looked like she was in shock. My husband said we should clean up and maybe go to the hospital. I said I needed a minute and went to my bedroom. 12 weeks. She's known she was pregnant since October. When she skipped Jen's gender reveal because pregnancy stuff was triggering, she was already pregnant. When she sent that text about distancing herself from harmful situations, she was pregnant. When I uninvited her from Christmas and she didn't fight it, she was pregnant. She let me be the villain who banned the infertile woman from Christmas while she was secretly pregnant the whole time. I didn't go to the hospital. My husband went with Jen. I stayed home and cleaned up the dinner that nobody finished. They were at the hospital for 6 hours. My son texted my husband that yes, she lost the baby. They're keeping her overnight for observation. My husband came home around 11 p.m. and said I should call my son. I said, "And say what exactly?" He said, "Your daughter-in-law just had a miscarriage at our house. You say you're sorry and you're thinking of them." I asked why she didn't tell anyone she was pregnant, and he looked at me like I was insane. He said, "Because of exactly this. Because miscarriages happen and it's devastating. That's why people wait. But that's not why she didn't tell us. She didn't tell us because then she couldn't play the victim about everyone else's pregnancies while she was literally pregnant herself. I didn't call my son. I texted him that I'm sorry for their loss. He didn't respond. This morning, she posted on Instagram. It's a photo of a sunset, and the caption is, "Held you for 12 weeks in my body and will hold you forever in my heartbreak." 143 comments. People saying they're so sorry, sending prayers, asking what happened. Jen commented, "I love you so much. I'm here for anything." The post has more likes than her wedding photos. My husband says I'm being cruel even thinking about the timeline right now, that she just lost a baby and that's the only thing that matters. But I can't stop thinking about her at Thanksgiving whispering to my son that she was pregnant while my whole family walked on eggshells trying not to upset her about Jen. Her skipping the gender reveal. Her letting me uninvite her. She knew the whole time and she let everyone think she was the sad infertile one. Ohio by accident comments. She had a miscarriage in your house and you're tallying up timeline receipts about when she knew she was pregnant. What the fuck is wrong with you? OP's replies. She lied to everyone for 3 months while playing victim. Wet Gremlin comments. Wait, hold on. She was pregnant when you uninvited her and didn't tell you? That's fucking weird. Why wouldn't she say, "Actually, I'm pregnant now, so I won't be triggered"? OP's replies. Exactly. Thank you. Glurp_90 comments. You're never seeing your son again. You know that, right? His wife had a miscarriage at your Christmas dinner and you didn't even go to the hospital. Funeral vibes comments. I mean, it's weird. She didn't say she was pregnant, but also maybe she was terrified of exactly what happened and didn't want to announce and then lose it. This is so fucked. Bored corner comments. The post has more likes than her wedding photos. You're counting Instagram likes while she's in the hospital. You're a fucking ghoul. Oppie's replies. I'm just saying she posted it. I didn't make her post it. Update. My son's moving across the country. She got released from the hospital on the 26th. I sent flowers to their house with a card that said, "Thinking of you both." My son didn't acknowledge it. My husband went over there yesterday to check on them. He said she was on the couch with a blanket and my son looked like he hadn't slept. He asked how I was doing, and my husband said I was worried about them. My son said, is she worried or is she still mad that she didn't tell her she was pregnant? Apparently, my husband didn't know I was upset about the timeline thing. They had a whole conversation where my husband was trying to defend me, and my son told him that I texted Jen on the 27th asking when she found out she was pregnant. I did text Jen that. I wanted to know the actual timeline. Jen told me she'd been told privately in early November, but was terrified to announce it because of her history of loss. She's had 2 miscarriages before this. I didn't know that either. Jen said she made her promise not to tell anyone, especially not me, because she didn't want me to feel obligated to re-invite her to Christmas out of pity. So she knew in November she was pregnant, told Jen, but not me, and specifically said, don't tell your mom. When my husband came home, he said, we need to talk. He asked me why I was interrogating Jen about the pregnancy timeline while she's physically recovering from a miscarriage. I told him because the whole thing doesn't make sense. Why would she hide it from everyone while still playing the victim about being infertile? He just stared at me. Then he said she wasn't playing anything, she was protecting herself in case something went wrong, which it did. I said she told Jen. He said she told Jen because Jen is her friend and she needed someone to talk to. You're the one who uninvited her from Christmas. We got in a huge fight. He said I've been looking for reasons to villainize her from the start, and now I'm using her miscarriage to prove some point about her being manipulative. I said she literally let me look like an asshole for months while she was pregnant. He told me I need therapy. I'm sleeping in the guest room. Then this morning, my son called. Not my husband, me, directly. He said he's taking a job in Denver and they're moving in February. His company has an office there, and they need a fresh start. Denver is 400 miles away. I asked if this was because of Christmas, and he said it's because she can't be around this family anymore. That she's been trying for 3 years to be accepted, and all she gets is suspicion and coldness. That losing the baby at my house in front of everyone was the worst moment of her life, and I didn't even come to the hospital. I said I didn't know what to say to her. He said, you could have said, I'm sorry, you could have just been a normal human. Then he said, she had the miscarriage in your bathroom. She was sitting on your toilet, bleeding and losing our baby alone because you made Christmas so tense she didn't want to tell anyone she wasn't feeling well. I didn't know what to say to that. He said they're going to Denver and I probably won't see them much after that. He'll come back for major holidays if I promise she doesn't have to come. I started crying and he just said, okay, I have to go, and hung up. My husband is barely speaking to me. Jen called and asked if it's true they're moving, and I said yes, and she said, Mom, what did you do? My other daughter-in-law sent a text to the family group chat saying she's here for them if they need anything during this difficult time. Very pointedly did not include me on the support list. I tried calling my son back twice and he didn't answer. She updated her Instagram story this morning. It's a photo of mountains with new adventures ahead, snow-capped mountain, 2 hearts, 74 likes already. That's the end of this absolute trash fire. Thanks for sticking around. Hope I didn't waste your time. Sound off in the comments. Who's the real monster here? The mill chasing clout and counting likes, or the dill who put on that whole show for Christmas? If you're down for more stories like this, hit that follow button, or at least drop a like so I know people actually give a damn. Later, guys.